Don in London, hello, and I'm just setting my clock. January the 31st, 2009, last day of the month. And my video is all about recovery from addiction to either behaviour or substance. My behaviour, trying to be perfect, never so. My substance, alcohol. And after 35 years of drinking, I've had a few years of stopping, just one day at a time. And January's been all about the first step in the 12-step action programme of AA, and a little bit about me and my life. So this video is going to be called Intentions versus Actions, because action is the operative word here. If we don't act or get on with and do something when we're getting into recovery from addiction, we fall back very quickly into isolation and start drinking again. And what stops me from going back to drinking is whenever I feel the urge to, or the craving to, blot out reality, I need to go to a meeting of AA. That's Alcoholics Anonymous, and it's a fellowship of just ordinary people, not an organisation, not there to fix you, just to give you some actions to take on a daily basis. And the preamble goes like this, so that you know what I'm talking about. At meetings, we always share this. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, and not my videos either. Does not wish to engage in any controversy, all my videos. Neither endorses nor opposes any causes, all my videos. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety, and that's what I'm saying really. I don't speak for AA, I just speak as an individual who's got great benefit from it. And the first step of the 12-step action programme, which I've covered in January, 12 months, 12 steps, and that's the same as this daily reflection book here, which is an AA literature book. But in the 12 by 12, the 12 steps and 12 traditions, it says this. For step 1, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives have become unmanageable, and that's in the active sense. If we keep on drinking, life is unmanageable, and we'll probably end up dead a lot sooner than we would otherwise. Who cares to admit complete defeat? Admission of powerlessness is the first step in liberation. Relation of humility to sobriety, mental obsession plus physical allergy. Why must every AA hit bottom? And that's just the summary of the step, and it's more complicated than that. But you know, it's interesting that as we go along in sobriety, it's all about getting things into action. We can judge ourselves by our intentions or judge ourselves by our actions, and only we can make a judgment about where we are. But for me, where am I now? I'm actively on a road of recovery, just active all the time, making life work and not going back or backsliding into old behaviour, hopefully. Old behaviour is to get addicted to substance or behaviour, and I need to stop it. Otherwise I'll end up drinking again, and then I'll die far sooner than I would otherwise live. So, Daily Reflections has a great summary for the end of the month, if you like. I'll just find it. Here we go. Our common welfare comes first. And this is about the first tradition as well. The unity of Alcoholics Anonymous is the most cherished quality of our society has. We stay whole or AA dies. And it goes on to say, our traditions are key elements in the ego deflation process necessary to achieve and maintain sobriety in Alcoholics Anonymous. The first tradition reminds me not to take credit or authority for my recovery. Placing our common welfare first reminds me not to become a healer in this program. So in other words, I'm not a healer, we heal ourselves. I am still one of the patients, definitely. Self-effacing elders built the ward. Without it, I doubt I would be alive. Without the group, few alcoholics would recover. The active role in renewed surrender of will enables me to step aside from the need to dominate, the desire for recognition, both of which played so great a part in my active alcoholism. Deferring my personal desires for the greater good of group growth contributes toward AA unity, that is, central to all recovery. It helps me to remember that the whole is greater than the sum of all its parts. So when we're in the fellowship, we are the same size, same shape, no bigger, no smaller than anybody else. And, you know, that's so important. But the other thing it says in Tradition 1, which is really important, is no other person can tell you what to do with your life. It's how you make life work, and that's the most important part for me. And another literature book which I'm using for the next 12 months, As Bill Sees It. In fact, I'll be using it daily for the rest of my life, I expect. It says on page 14, Newcomer Problems. The temptation is to become rather possessive of newcomers. Perhaps we try to give them advice about their affairs which we aren't really competent to give, or not to give at all. Then we are hurt and confused when the advice is rejected, or when it is accepted and brings still greater confusion. You can't make a horse drink water if he still prefers beer, or is too lazy to know what he does want. Set a pail of water beside him, tell him how good it is and why, and leave him alone. That's very much what people did to me. If people really want to get drunk, there is, so far as I know, no way of stopping this, so leave them alone and let them get drunk. But don't exclude them from the water pail either. And this is the whole point. You know, you can be in and included if you want to, but nobody can exclude you from meetings of AA. We're all there for one reason, a desire to stop drinking. And you know, for me, what's really important is to remember and remind myself on a daily basis when I wake up in the morning that I am powerless over alcohol and life can get unmanageable if I were to take a drink again. Not only that, I'm also powerless over people, places and things. Now, why am I powerless over people? The simple answer is I don't want to have power over people. It means the interdependence, which is so critical to most ordinary life, is lost. So if we find ourselves in a hierarchy of fellowship where some people are better than others, then we are actually misunderstanding what it's all about. So people are the same size as me, I'm the same size as people. I have an equal right to be here. And when it comes to powerlessness over places and things, there are some places I need not go to, some places which sell alcohol or people drink large quantities, and it's my choice. This is the whole thing about step one. It's about reintroducing choice to our life. And for me, I went to the meeting of AA last night, my Bolton's meeting. I used to call it the glamour hour, but it's more interesting now because people are getting down to the brass roots of what drives us. And a lot of the time when we were drinking, we were utilising our fear, our ego and our brave face. So life was difficult without a drink, and we used to take the edge off until somebody said, well, have you got an edge at all? And the answer was, as time went by and drink took more and more of my time, I was afloat on an ocean of booze. And that was in the very last years. But I was a heavy drinker all that time of working for 35 years trying to be perfect, not only at work but in all my relationships as well. And you know what AA has taught me most of all is acceptance of where I am today. So part of my mantra in the morning still remains. I am powerless over alcohol, people, places, things. And if I were to go back to alcohol, certain people, places or things, then I would start the old process going again of addiction. And the difficulty is we don't want to be in that state of mind where we need to crave the attention, crave the need, feed our ego, feed our fear, and put on our brave face. And there's a gift in this. If we learn daily to have enough faith and courage and confidence just to make the best of what we have, to be in the very moment of now, where we don't need to be frightened of what is going on around us, because most of the time, in the here and now, nothing can hurt us. So once we understand, we can let go fear and start being ourselves and get our choices back. We see the fundamentals of the program starting to work. So powerless over people, places, things and booze. Yes, I am. At the same time, I still have my choices and how to live in the moment of now. You know, if I go backwards into my history, I can get lost in a great big ocean of trouble and pain. If I look too far forward into the future, where I want to attain something or to be something, I'm mistaking what is right in front of me, the very moment of now. And the other thing which helps me with acceptance is, it's not my intentions that I need to worry about, it's my actions. What do I do on a daily basis to make life work? How do I love people around me? How am I able to be loved by them? And how do I gain the wisdom around serenity? So for me, serenity remains, as the short version of the Serenity Prayer suggests, and I use God and truth interchangeably. So God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And after all, the centre of all of this is our truth in the moment of now.